Welcome to this special episode of CareCast, CareNet's podcast on family, faith, and life, with Roland Warren, CareNet's president and CEO, and Vincent DeCaro, CareNet's chief outreach officer. This episode was recorded live at CareNet's 2025 National Conference in Charlotte, North Carolina, where CareNet commemorated its 50th anniversary with more than 1,800 attendees. One of the keynote speakers of the conference was Alisa Childers, author, musician, and host of the Alisa Childers Podcast. Just before she went on stage to deliver her keynote address, Roland caught up with her to talk to her about her passion for the life issue. Let's listen in on what Roland and Alisa have for us this week.
Hello everyone in CareNet land. Roland Warren coming to you again from CareNet's 2025 National Conference here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm delighted to have a guest, Alisa Childers, and she is a wife, a mother, a speaker, and an author, and she's going to be speaking to our folks and just giving a fantastic keynote. So glad to be with you, and thank you so much for joining us.
So glad to be here. Very honored, actually.
Good. So why don't we just start with your pro-life story? Like, why are you connected to this issue? What passion do you bring to it? What animates you about this issue?
Yes, thank you for that question, because I'm actually going to be sharing that in my keynote. As a very young child, I really loved the Lord. I was a Christian from a very early age, and my dad was a Christian recording artist that would travel all around and make records and sing.
Okay.
And so I think it was about 1985, I would have been 10 or 11 years old at this time, a bunch of Christian music artists came together to make a song that was kind of like We Are the World,
oh, wow,
but for the pro-life cause.
Huh.
And so it was a song called Fight the Fight. You can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm in the video as a little 10 or 11-year-old little girl.
Wow.
And so I remember being really introduced to the fight on that day, and it's actually the day that changed my life forever.
Huh.
And the reason for that wasn't just the song that moved me so much. I remember listening to the lyrics and thinking, yes, I really resonated with the lyrics. But early on in the pro-life movement, you might remember Keith Green, the recording artist,
sure,
and
okay.
his now widow, Melody Green, was a very staunch pro-life advocate.
Right.
And so she was a part of this song, and what they did that day was, and it sounds a bit strange, but it was life-changing for me. And what they did was, this was around the time when some of the remains had been discovered, and then Ronald Reagan was trying to get a burial and things like that. So there was this baby called Baby Choice that was preserved, and it was an aborted baby, 18 to 20 weeks, and they would put it on display. And for Melody, the reason she thought it was important to do that is it's kind of like in the Holocaust, people didn't really understand or connect with what was going on until they saw with their eyes. And so they had that baby on display. And my mom was very conflicted about whether or not she should let me see it. She prayed about it, and I do believe she made the right choice to let me see it. And I remember looking at a human being and my heart being completely broken.
Wow.
And so my heart was broken into the pro-life fight. And so I knew from that day on that I would never not use my voice or my platform, whatever God would give me, to speak up for those who couldn't speak for themselves in the issue of pro-life. And so although I've been more adjacent to that ministry with music and other things, I've always been very vocal, and that's why it's such an honor to be here, because I feel like although I'm not running a pregnancy center or something like that, my heart is with those who are.
Gotcha. Well, we are delighted to have you as an ally and a partner in this, and it takes a lot of voices to change the culture on this issue. And I know, certainly being in the entertainment business for years, you've probably seen a lot of issues that are very much connected to the life issue. So talk to me a little bit about like what you plan to share with our audience today.
Well, as I was praying and thinking about what message I would deliver to this particular group, the phrase that just kept going through my mind is don't grow weary. And so I am going to be applying that to 3 different areas. Don't grow weary in upholding truth. And the reason for that is the area of ministry that I do is largely in apologetics and theology. And more specifically, my ministry addresses the movement of progressive Christianity and answering that movement biblically. And if you look back about 15 years or so ago, many of the people who would have called themselves progressive Christians were still pro-life.
Yeah.
Fast forward 15 years, they're not anymore.
Yeah.
They're actually very much advocating for the pro-abortion stance.
Yeah.
And so if you think about what happened in that 15 years, well, there was an erosion of objective truth. And knowing that as Christians, we know that morality, what we do and what we should and shouldn't do, these things are not just a matter of opinion. It's not like you can have your truth and I can have my truth. These things are rooted in the character of God.
Right.
So don't grow weary in upholding truth in a post-truth culture that would say to you, why are you trying to impose your truth upon me? So that would be the first point that I'm going to talk about. And the second one is don't grow weary in proclaiming the gospel. Because one of the unique things about the Christian who does pro-life work, and thankful for all the people who do pro-life work, whether they're atheists or whatever it might be, but the Christian can actually justify the pro-life ethic because of the gospel. And so when we look at the Imago Dei, that human beings are made in the image and likeness of God, that we are fallen, we're sinful, and that's what's wrong with the world, but that gets restored through the cross of Jesus Christ and his death and resurrection and his second coming. When we uphold those core gospel truths, that is going to naturally be the foundation upon which we can maintain our pro-life ethic, even in a world that calls evil good and good evil. That's how we can know upholding truth and upholding the gospel. And then my final point will be just don't grow weary in doing good, the actual work that you're doing. And I just hope to encourage so many workers that I know are probably feeling kind of weary in this fight, that maybe you don't see the results of the efforts that you're putting forth right now in this world. But I'm going to refer to Galatians that talks about sowing to the Spirit versus sowing to the flesh. And what you're doing is you are sowing to the Spirit. You're sowing eternal rewards. You are encouraging more people than you realize. You are giving people more courage than you realize. And I'll bet you've saved more lives than you realize. And so just to encourage them, don't grow weary in doing good, knowing that your reward is in heaven, even if you don't always see the results of that here on earth.
Yeah, no, that's just fantastic. And so many of those themes are kind of connected to things that other folks have said as part of the conference, and certainly, the remarks I gave on Monday in terms of talking about the centrality of the gospel.
Yeah.
And, there's a movement afoot, and has been for a number of years, to sort of disconnect the gospel from pregnancy center work. And, there's narratives out there like, well, we should just try to be Planned Parenthood without abortions and things of that nature. And so I just love that you're reinforcing the centrality of the gospel, that good news, which is what we want to focus on, that we're not just focused on kind of helping her temporally.
That's right.
But we also have this call as Christians to make sure that we are helping her eternally.
That's right.
So this is fantastic. Well, I am delighted that you are a part of this. Looking forward to hearing your remarks. I'm sure our folks will enjoy that quite a bit. And thank you for all that you're doing, both in your own space around the issues of truth and certainly addressing folks who have a progressive perspective and maybe are seeing their Christianity through the lens of the culture.
That's right.
More than seeing the culture through the lens of their Christianity, which tends to be the thing that kind of leads you down that path sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Delighted.
Such an honor to bring what I do together with what you do. I'm just totally honored.
All right, blessings to you. Take
Thanks.
care.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of CareCast. For more pro-abundant life commentary and practical resources, please visit care-ned.org. There you can subscribe to the Abundant Life blog, giving you access to videos, ebooks, podcasts, and other resources to help turn your pro-life passion into pro-abundant life action. Until next time, we pray that God blesses you and yours daily.